from the station working for you. This is WRTV News at 6, streaming now.
We begin tonight at 6 o'clock with a WRTV Storm Team alert. I'm Nicole Griffin here with meteorologist Kyle Mounds. And Kyle, are we in for a messy Sunday morning?
It certainly could be for some of us in central Indiana, Nicole. We've got a system that is off to our south and west right now. You can see just those clouds that we have had throughout the day. But here it is, big area that's kind of swirling back across portions of Missouri of some snow. And this is going to be tracking our way here as we get into tonight. So here's a look at TrueCast for you as we get to 11 o'clock. May start off with some very light rain showers with temperatures above freezing, but we'll start to pull in some of that colder air. So a little bit of a wintry mix here as we get to 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we could see some bursts of moderate snow, but you also notice this is pretty much from I-70 and to the north. Not really expecting to see a whole lot around Bloomington, Seymour, and into the Greensburg area. A few more snow showers early on Sunday morning, and then that system quickly moving out. Right now for Indianapolis, looks like about a ½ inch of snow coming our way, and there are those temperatures still sitting just above the freezing mark. 34 in Indy and Martinsville will hold pretty steady here. There's the precipitation though coming in a little closer to midnight. More on how much we can expect for that snow across all of central Indiana in just a bit.
All right, Kyle, thank you. The Indiana Department of Transportation says its crews will be ready for whatever happens tonight. They plan on having a full call out at midnight with about 50 trucks on the roads around Indianapolis. There will be 20 trucks in Richmond and another 20 in Kokomo. Now to the latest COVID-19 numbers from the State Department of Health. Another 5,429 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with the virus. 39 more Hoosiers have died, bringing the total number of deaths to 8,055. Since March, more than 523,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19, and more than 5.7 million tests have been administered in Indiana. As the death toll in the U.S. continues to rise, the CDC now says the country could see 424,000 deaths by January 23rd. The Trump administration had promised 20 million doses of vaccines would be administered by the end of 2020, but the rollout of those vaccines is now coming under fire. Here's ABC's Kenneth Moten.
The U.S. has surpassed 20 million cases of the coronavirus. More than 348,000 lives have been lost. California particularly hit hard. Los Angeles County considered the nation's current pandemic epicenter. The state experiencing 585 deaths in one 24-hour period this week. L.A. County supervisor requesting the hospital Navy ship Mercy return.
I've never seen a healthcare system pushed to the level that we're at. Coming to work is just a constant, it's stressful, to say the least.
Meanwhile, the nationwide vaccine rollout is far behind schedule. Less than 3 million people have received the shots, far short of the 20 million goal the Trump administration has set for the end of 2020. Utah Senator Mitt Romney blasting the lack of a comprehensive vaccination plan as incomprehensible and inexcusable.
That we sat back and assumed that somehow creating the vaccine was all we had to do. And that was simply inadequate.
Houston's mayor authorizing the health department to open the city's first free COVID-19 vaccination clinic.
The call-in centers across the board received about 250,000 calls to date. And so the system literally was overwhelmed. And so we went to Plan B. And Plan B was on-site registration.
Georgia working to expand its vaccination plans as doses sit on ice.
There's vaccine available and literally sitting in freezers. That's unacceptable. We have lives to save.
This doctor in Michigan driving almost 3 hours to a remote part of the state to administer vaccines.
What I saw was really just hope.
In Florida, senior citizens waiting in line for hours after Governor Ron DeSantis expanded eligibility to those over 65. And in Chattanooga, Tennessee, traffic backed up the first day residents 75 and older were eligible for the vaccine. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Kenneth, thank you. And now that the holidays are over, healthcare experts are expecting to see an increase in COVID-19 cases. I spoke with the director of infection prevention at IU Health, who says we still have many challenges to get through this winter. She says since December 19th, we have had more than 6,400 new cases of COVID-19, and that means 6,400 new people on top of everyone else are now eligible to spread COVID to those around them.
So the more new cases that we see popping up, the more likely it is that COVID will just continue this kind of unparalleled spread that we've been seeing. It's spreading far, it's spreading wide, and coming off the holidays where we have seen that there has been a high number of travel and family gatherings, I think putting those two together as, someone that studies bacteria, as an epidemiologist, I see that, the potential for increased spread is there.
Hoosiers have already received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, including more than 9,000 people who live here in Marion County. It is only day 2 of the new year, so most people should be on track to still reach their resolutions for 2021. But what does setting those goals look like with restrictions during a pandemic? Well, most fitness centers are still offering virtual classes. Trainers we've talked to say 2020 has taught them to adjust, and they are ready to help people reach their 2021 goals in order to start the new year off right.
The biggest piece with this is I think most people actually need to make this New Year's resolution even more, they need to reach it even more, because they did put on 15, 20 plus pounds during COVID because you're not walking from your car to your house or from your car to your job. Most people, they have these goals in mind, but this year it's really important that they actually stick to them past just January 30th, January 31st.
Coming up tonight at 11 o'clock, our Troy Washington will break down the tips and tricks she is learning in order to stay committed to your goals as we get into 2021. Congress convenes tomorrow, but things could be a lot different in the chambers by the end of this upcoming session. The latest on the battle to control the Senate when the news at 6 continues.
1877, only ATT.
Indiana Senator Mike Braun and 10 other Republican senators and senator-elects announced today they will reject electors from what they call disputed states. The group also says they will call for a commission to conduct an emergency 10-day audit of the election returns in those states. The statement did not specify which states they consider to be disputed. Congress is scheduled to meet on Wednesday to formally count the electoral votes. The senators, including Braun, have continued to claim incidents of voter fraud despite several state and Trump administration officials saying they haven't found evidence of widespread voter fraud. A big week ahead in politics with the 117th session of Congress convening tomorrow. Republicans will begin the Congress with control of the chamber in a 51-seat majority. However, that could change quickly. Alex Perche has that story.
In a rare New Year's Day session, the Senate handed President Trump the first veto override of his presidency.
The bill on reconsideration is passed,
passing a defense spending bill with a supermajority.
We've passed this legislation 59 years in a row. Now it's time for us to deliver this bill.
The $740 billion National Defense Authorization Act includes a 3% pay raise for troops and a boost in hazard duty pay. It provides billions in upgrades to military systems and requires the renaming of military bases that honor Confederate generals, one of the points the president opposed. Friday's override comes just days before Congress's January 6th meeting to affirm the results of the Electoral College, a gathering generally considered a formality. ABC News learning that on a private call with his caucus, McConnell said the January 6th vote will be the most consequential vote of his life. But McConnell urged senators to vote their conscience. Senator Josh Hawley, along with several other senators, are joining 140 conservatives in the House in objecting to the state tallies. On the other side of the party's split, Republican Senator Ben Sasse of Nebraska warning the president and his allies are playing with fire. Meanwhile, the 117th Congress will be sworn in on Sunday. Republicans will begin the session with a 51-seat majority in the Senate, but control of the upper chamber is still undecided. 2 Senate seats are up for grabs in Georgia's runoff election this Tuesday. More than 3 million Georgians have already voted, a record turnout for a runoff.
Tremendous turnout. Everyone's engaged in this race.
President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris heading to Georgia to campaign for Democrats Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff, while President Trump and Vice President Pence will visit Georgia on Monday to throw their support behind Republican Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
Alex, thank you. An alert tonight for pet owners. The Food and Drug Administration is warning about high levels of a deadly toxin in some pet foods. 28 dogs have reportedly died. The food containing aflatoxin has been identified as certain sport mix products manufactured by Midwestern Pet Foods. The FDA says aflatoxin is produced by a type of mold. It can grow on grains used in ingredients in pet food and can cause illness or death in pets when consumed. Pets poisoned by aflatoxin can display symptoms that include jaundice, loss of appetite, and vomiting. Pet owners can report suspected illnesses to the FDA online at fda.gov. So many people are looking for jobs, but some hiring managers in skilled professions like electricians or carpenters say they can't find enough qualified applicants. One construction organization has created an outreach program to minorities in hopes of filling shortages of workers across the country. Cesar Rodriguez shows us how the program works.
Well, it was a lost child. He definitely was unemployed. He definitely didn't know what he was going to do.
Noé Salazar is describing his life before he found the Community Builders Program.
And without the program, I definitely don't know what I'll be doing with my life now.
The father of 2 children signed up for a free 12-week program offered by Associated Builders and Contractors.
I didn't know I could be an electrician. I always thought it was kind of hard. You had to be like a brainiac to do it.
Noé had the brains to change his life. The Builders Program offers apprenticeship training to underserved communities to help fill the construction workforce shortage.
There's a huge shortage of minority workers in the construction industry.
Calvin Williams is the vice chair of Associated Builders and Contractors. He says the program gives black and brown participants a chance to learn entry-level skills. Students require no experience in the industry. After graduating, they receive job placement. These entry-level jobs pay $16 an hour, but in 5 years, a worker can expect to be making $90,000 annually.
Our higher percentage is about 70% of those participants are hired, and I believe it's roughly about 75% of them, it may be even a little bit higher than that, are retained over a long period of time as employees.
The program gave students a chance to hammer away during the pandemic. The training was offered online and in person while graduates were busy working. There are plans to expand the program across the country in 2021 in states such as Nevada, Colorado, Texas, Missouri, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, Florida, and more.
I hear a lot of people, they lose their jobs and stuff with the whole COVID thing. But construction, I mean, we're always busy. We're always working 50, 60 plus hours a week.
I'm Cesar Rodriguez reporting.
A gray and chilly day here across central Indiana, but at least we were getting a break from the precipitation. We just know it's not going to last all that long. Right now we're at 34 downtown. You got 33 on the thermometer in Kokomo and 36 in Bloomington. That wind's fairly light, about 10 miles per hour or less for us. And there's that area that's swirling back across portions of Missouri, and we'll be sliding our way tonight. So here's a look at TrueCast for you. We'll pick things up at 11 o'clock tonight. Could see a little bit of very light rain, possibly a wintry mix. I think pretty quickly, though, we should see that transition to some snow showers. You also notice by 2 a.m. not a whole lot going on here south of I-70, and I don't think you'll see a whole lot in the way of precipitation as we go into early Sunday. Different story, though, as we get toward Indianapolis and to the north. About 5:30 Sunday morning, you can see some of these deeper blues and purples representing where we could have some moderate to possibly some bursts of heavy snow out there. So it could accumulate fairly quickly, although it's not going to last all that long. As we get toward the middle of the day tomorrow, we've just got the gray skies again. But as far as that snow accumulation potential here, northwest of Indy, we could see a batch of about 1 to 2 inches of snowfall here as we work our way through Crawfordsville into Lebanon, Tipton, Frankfort also included in that. Could see around 2 inches of snow into Logansport. Then notice how quickly, though, it's going to be dropping off as we get toward the south and east here. Really not expecting to see much on the ground in the Bloomington and Rushville areas. The other side of this, though, if this track shifts just a little bit more to the south and east, we could see those totals rising as we get into parts of Johnson County. All right, Sunday planning forecast temperatures are not going to budge a whole lot here. We will be in the middle 30s. A little bit of a breeze out there, so it's going to feel like the 20s here as we go through the second half of the weekend. Seasonably chilly high for you of 36 in Bloomington and the Muncie area. 35 in Lafayette. We'll finally see the return of a little bit of sunshine here as we get into the day on Monday, and temperatures will actually warm up with that as well. We're into the middle 40s there Monday, around 40 degrees on Tuesday, and as we look toward the end of the 7-day planning forecast, temperatures still, again, not too bad here. No Arctic blast coming our way with highs in the 30s and 40s, and really doesn't look like we'll see much wet weather, Nicole, after tonight.
All right, Kyle, thank you. IU's football season ends in Florida for a second straight year. The Hoosiers battled hard but fell short in the Outback Bowl. Brad's here with a recap next on the News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us this weekend. The IU football team had some things to prove this Saturday. The only team that came close to Ohio State during the regular season was, and all the talk of being worthy of a bowl better than the Outback. Well, much like a year ago, the Hoosiers are falling short in January. 10,000 fans in Tampa, first time IU played in front of a crowd like that this season. Many from this area making the trip down. There's Jack Tuttle, IU's sophomore quarterback, getting just his second start, second quarter, an interception going back the other way. Struggled early. IU was down 13-3 at the half. They continue to struggle in the third quarter. Whop Phillier after the catch fumbles it away. So it was 20-6. Favor of Ole Miss when they went to the fourth quarter, but then the momentum swings all the way in Indiana's favor over the course of that final 15 minutes. First play of the fourth, Stevie Scott, the running back in the Wildcat formation, takes the direct snap in for the TD run. So it's now just a one-score game. Ole Miss missed a field goal after that, and IU would capitalize back in the other direction. Tuttle to Miles Marshall. Look at this great catch on the sideline. An 18-yard gain for the first down around a couple of defenders. That drive would be capped by Scott. Again, the Wildcat worked so well the last time down. They made it 20-20 to tie it up. 6 minutes to go. Then Ole Miss answers back. Matt Corral to Dontario Drummond. That touchdown put them up 6. They missed the PAT, but IU's final drive down to the final minute. Never really got a chance to go. Tuttle on fourth down, pressured, throws it short. And just like that, it's all done. 26-20, the final, second straight close one to finish the season. IU on the losing end once again.
We just needed one more takeaway. We needed a takeaway. Not having innings is just not how, we've been successful. So you got to, whether it's a bowl game or a regular season game, you got a formula for success. And when you don't stick with that formula, then oftentimes you don't get what you want.
Definitely sad that we didn't cap off the year how we wanted to, but it's just a start. And, I feel like we've broken through now. And now for this next year upcoming, we have to continue doing what we started this year. And I definitely have to use this bowl game and the last bowl game as double motivation that we had before, because that's 2 years back to back we lost the bowl game, and I'm definitely not feeling that for sure.
I mean, obviously didn't play our best at all. I feel like we could have came out stronger. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Just got to be better, improve, and grow.
The teams combined for more than 850 yards of total offense. Tuttle 26 of 45 passing. Coach Allen said in postgame, the quarterback did as well. He separated a shoulder at some point, continued to go. So gutsy performance by Jack. Scott scored both touchdowns, 99 yards rushing. How about Whop Phillier, a school record 18 catches. Belongs to those just 8 yards, a lot of little ones. Charles Campbell bombed a couple of long field goals, 50 and 53 yards. Now the Hoosiers should have all of those guys back, along with a ton of seniors to get an extra year of eligibility next season. The Pacers are in action tonight. They're at home against the Knicks. Tip-off is about 45 minutes from now, looking for their 5th win in 6 to open the season. We'll have a recap of that one for you tonight at 11. Time for a final break. Nicole and Kyle will wrap up tonight's news at 6. Next.
96947.
As we start the new year, people took advantage of an opportunity in Boone County today to recycle their Christmas trees. Every year, the Boone County Professional Firefighters Association partners with the local business, the Little House at Earth and Turf, for this event. Recycling trees is free, but everyone is encouraged to make a donation to support a fund that helps firefighters in need.
We've seen several firefighters throughout central Indiana who have become COVID positive, and some of those have been very, very critically ill and been hospitalized for weeks on end, and then having an extreme challenge when they come home as well, and not able to return to work for quite some time. So that's an opportunity for our fund to be able to assist those firefighters with just general needs from a financial standpoint.
Most of the trees are recycled into mulch, but as you see here throughout the event, firefighters took the opportunity to educate people about the importance of taking care of their live trees during the Christmas season. They remind people to water the trees and remove them as soon as possible to avoid a fire. Kyle.
If you're going to be out late tonight and into early tomorrow morning, be careful out there. We'll have that wintry mix switching over to some light snow shower activity, and we could see about 1 inch to 2 inches of snow northwest of Indy, about a ½ inch or so around the city.
All right, Kyle, thank you, and thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tonight at 11. Have a great night.